Hey, thank you for watching. I make weekly art tutorials, paint-alongs and vlogs. In an attempt to make summer last for as long as possible, I've had quite a few impromptu beach days and beach painting days. I've videoed some parts of it and I thought that it would be nice if I could put them together to just give you some tips on what to do and also what to avoid, and also just some encouragement to go out and have fun. Tip number one is kind of a do as I say and not as I do, and that is to pack light and pack what you need. Especially if you're going to be carrying all the things yourself or you're taking public transport to get there. I got slightly carried away and brought quite a few supplies with me, but I'll talk about what I actually ended up using. I've made a separate video about the essential watercolour supplies that you need for urban sketching, and I'll go through the supplies that I used, which were gouache, later on in this video. The next tips kind of go hand in hand, and that is to really take in the sights, to look around and to explore so that you can find the best thing to paint, but also something that will remind you of the day. And in the theme of exploring is to just have fun and to enjoy yourself. And I include this picture because I genuinely thought I was so high up, and as you can see, I really wasn't. I was really proud of myself for climbing up there. But yeah, so have a really good time, make memories that you will then be able to attribute to whatever painting you then create. And in keeping with that, it can also be nice to bring a friend or a sibling. Ideally somebody that you're comfortable painting in front of, and somebody who is going to be happy to either paint with you or read a book or exercise around that same area, but basically someone who's going to be happy staying still long enough for you to get the painting that you want. With sufficient exploration, then you should be able to find your subject. And the problem that I usually have is that I just see so many things that I could paint or so many things that I want to paint, and I end up spending so much time looking at these things and enjoying these things that I leave very little time to painting. Personally, I don't mind. It's, at least I'm enjoying myself. But yeah, so at this point, just look around, explore, and then find what you're actually going to paint, what's drawn you in most, and what you think you'd be able to capture most. And for me, it was this cliff, I guess, basically this rock area. And the next thing to do is to find a good spot and basically get comfortable. So this is comfortable clothing, comfortable area to sit in. Especially if you're not the fastest painter, you really want to get somewhere that is as comfortable as can be. One of the things that's also been absolutely amazing for this is a blanket that I bought that's waterproof on the bottom, and you can use it in parks. It's sandproof. I just got it from Amazon for like, I think £15, but it's one of the best £15 that I've spent, because it's so versatile and it's meant that I can get comfortable painting in these areas. And I mean, really and truly, if I wanted to, I could use it on the street, but I think it'd look a bit crazy. So these are just some pictures of what Instagram will have you think painting on the beach looks like and what I kind of wanted to go for. But once I got comfortable and I got real, I obviously wasn't, it obviously didn't look like that. Next thing to consider is the art supplies. So I think for urban sketching, personally, I find watercolors a lot easier to paint with on the go. That being said, I'm really loving gouache at the moment, and I'm loving like gouache landscapes, so I wanted to carry it out with me.
What, me squeezing for dear life? This struggle is real, guys.
This right here is a video representation of why you should buy extra white tubes of gouache.
Much later.
Okay, we got some, guys.
So I'll be using the Winsor & Newton designer gouache set.
The palette paper, it's good to have clips to keep it on. The paints, a paintbrush, a jar, and some tape, and then a book with a clip.
And once you have all that, it's time to get started and basically start painting. And this is where I wish I was a bit more of an early bird and could have gotten there a bit earlier, because I rarely feel like I've spent enough time there. And another important tip that I have to include is to just be mindful and to stay safe. A big component of urban sketching is painting outdoors, and it's something that I absolutely love, especially because a lot of the time it means that I get to remember the day a lot better. But given the world that we're living in, you do have to be careful, and I think everyone has to, but especially women. So, there are certain things that you should consider, such as letting someone know where you are, not going by yourself, and also just being mindful of your surroundings. So in my case, although I wasn't by myself, we got to see a beautiful sunset, but obviously by the nature of sunset, it means that, a few minutes after you see that, it's pretty much dark everywhere. So, despite the fact that I had originally planned to complete my painting there and I wanted to stay, I just knew it was time to go home. So, I packed up and decided to complete it at home instead. So, for this same reason, and also for the fact that the weather and the environment, everything just changes so quickly, I would also advise that it's good to take lots of reference videos and lots of reference photos of what you want to paint when you're there, because one of the things that I found difficult with this piece is that I remembered how it was when I initially got there and how it was so warm and there was lots of colors. But then I spent most of my time, or a lot of the time, with kind of cooler colors and more shadows, and so I ended up kind of mixing both of those things together. So that's one thing to kind of bear in mind: take lots of pictures and take lots of videos. Thankfully, because I had enough reference videos and photos of what I actually wanted, I was able to get back on track. My approach with landscapes has been start with the basics, so the basic colors first and the basic shapes, and then try and build up on that. So one of the reasons that I decided to pick the Winsor & Newton gouache paints is that they don't come with that many colors. The set that I got only has 10, and that means that I'm really forced to try and learn how to mix the colors to try and create the colors that I want, which means that this was more challenging than it would have been otherwise if I'd used the Himimiya gouache, but also that I got a bit more from it because the colors that I had to create, for example, I'm not used to mixing browns and like these light pastel colors, and I think that's one of the reasons that I was also struggling with this piece. But I must say I am actually quite happy with the way that it ended up, especially as it took quite a lot of experimentation to get the colors right. And at the moment, color mixing is not like my strongest asset, but it's something that I really wanted to focus on in this piece, and I think that I managed to do that. I'm happy with the colors of the cliffs, I'm happy with the colors of the vegetation at the bottom, and I think I got those colors right. Oddly enough, as it happens, the one color looking back that I'm like, oh, I maybe should have changed it, is the color that I took straight out of the tube, and that's the color of the sea in the back. And I think I just added a little bit of white, but looking back on it, it should have probably been not as bright, because usually things that are further away are not as saturated, so they don't appear as bright, and as they get closer they get more and more saturated. So looking at that, the blue is just a little bit too bright, and as it happens it's the one color that I just took straight out of the tube. So that's a lesson in there for me. Sometimes one thing that you can do if you're not sure is to turn the picture in black and white, and then you can have a bit of a better idea as to your tonal values and knowing whether they're correct. So just trying to learn to not just look at the colors, but seeing which colors are dark and which colors are light and whether they're in the right place. So looking at mine, for example, you can see that the color of the sea at the back is almost as dark as the colors right at the front, whereas in the original, if you turn that into black and white, that's not the case, because the things that are further away should be lighter. So it's just small things that you can learn and tweak. If that's something that you'd like to know more of, then let me know down below and I can create a separate video on that as I continue to learn more about it. But all in all, I'm really happy with the painting. I had an absolutely amazing day. So thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed the video, that you found it helpful and entertaining. Thank you for being a real MVP by making it to the end of the video. Let me know that you did by telling me when it comes to creating art, if you are an early bird or a night owl like myself. See you next week. Bye.
Where are the footprints, guys? Okay, now let me walk.